Whether you think generative AI is just the latest technological weapon in the arsenal of artists, like the camera or the electric typewriter before it, or a soulless, environment destroying plagiarism machine, the fact is that it's here to stay. Pandora's box lies lidless. Eve is smacking away on that delicious apple, and there's no getting away from AI now. It's in movies, on television, Lord knows it's on social media. It's even in fridges, apparently. I got an advert the other day for a Samsung smart fridge that uses AI and built-in cameras to simplify food management. You think a robot's going to stop me from chain-eating cheese slices at 2 a.m. like the feral little ghoul that I am? You'll have to kill me first, Skynet. But just because something is being foisted upon us doesn't mean we have to like it. It doesn't even mean that we have to engage with it. I refuse to own an air fryer, as is my God-given right, and I don't even know what a Doja Cat is. I think some kind of cryptocurrency. I've been making YouTube videos as Panels to Pixels for almost 8 years now, good heavens. And in that time, I've become known for a few things. My terrible taste in comics and movies from the 90s, my unabashed addiction to alliteration, and I like to think the high production value of my videos. But looking this good doesn't come easy. I mean, sure, I've invested a decent chunk of change into cameras, lighting, microphones, but more importantly, I've put the work into learning how to use it all. Countless hours getting my head around Rembrandt lighting and figuring out the optimal position to boom a microphone just out of shot. Not to mention the 18-hour editing days that I've pulled to get a video out on time with all the slick animations and visual flair that you've come to expect from me. Did you know, for example, that I master my audio to a TV broadcast standard? No, of course you don't, because firstly, why would you? And secondly, there's absolutely no need for me to do that. Most people on YouTube record their audio into a shoe. Now, I don't mind tooting my own horn here by saying that my videos look and sound really, really fucking good. Better than 95% of what gets uploaded to this site. And I don't begrudge putting in that extra effort. I'm a natural-born perfectionist, and learning how to do all this stuff has been part of the fun for me. But there is an extent to which I've been doing it to try and legitimize my content. The more like proper TV my videos look, the more seriously you will take my ideas. My goal is to convince you that I'm some kind of authority on comic books, a professional big dick YouTuber, versus the reality, which is that I'm just some dude in his attic, surrounded by junk, and waffling to himself about superheroes. Thanks to AI, the illusion of quality, and in the case of AI it surely is an illusion, is going to be available to more people than ever before. And I've decided that I don't want to be in competition with that. My prediction, and my hope, is that as generative AI continues to seep into the media we consume, like sewerage into the open waters of creativity, people are going to start craving something real, something human. I want to make real shit. And thanks to AI, I've never been less interested in pretending that my little rinky-dink YouTube show is TV. Now, if you were so inclined, you could outsource every single step of the video making process to AI. You could have ChatGPT vomit out a script, use 11 Labs to generate a voiceover, Midjourney or DALL-E or Stable Diffusion or countless other text-to-image models could provide the visuals. And there are even AI video editors. Voila, a finished YouTube video. Although, to be honest, I'm not sure why you would ever want to do any of that. As someone who has done this as a full-time job, there are way easier ways of making money than YouTube, let me tell you. Because look, here's some advice to artists and creators, which it took me 30 years to figure out. Art is not about the end product. It's not about the validation you receive from uploading something to YouTube for views or posting it to Instagram for likes. Those things will never fulfill you, believe me. Art is about the process of creating art. It's all the lessons learned, the problems solved, and the decisions made. And the more organically and intuitively involved you can be in this process of creation, the better artist you will become. And let's extrapolate that out to life. What does it mean to be truly alive? Well, I think it's being fully present through the good and bad. And if we start outsourcing all of the tedious, inconvenient, low dopamine realities of life to computers, what are we left with? What will be the point of living? Have we all forgotten the movie WALL-E? That's kind of the whole point of that film. While I was writing this video, I found a poem by writer Joseph Fasano titled "For a Student Who Used AI to Write a Paper," which articulates all of this way better than I ever could. So, if you'll permit me. Now I let it fall back in the grasses. I hear you. I know this life is hard now. I know your days are precious on this earth, but what are you trying to be free of? The living? The miraculous task of it? Love is for the ones who love the work. This video isn't intended to be preachy or tell you what to do. I think everybody should find their own boundaries with AI. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from and how it will inform the videos you see on this channel going forward. But I would like to arm you with some information, because there are people in my personal life who will innocently share AI memes with me or use ChatGPT as a substitute for Googling something. And I think they would probably think twice about doing that if they knew, for example, that generating a single image with AI uses almost as much energy as fully charging your smartphone. But the massive energy cost of AI doesn't happen on your phone or computer. It happens in huge data centers around the world, out of sight and out of mind. According to the International Energy Agency, these data centers used 460 terawatt hours of electricity in 2022, accounting for 1 to 2% of global electricity use. And this can only go up. By next year, data centers could be using a total of 1,000 terawatt hours per year, which, according to the IEA, is roughly equivalent to the annual electricity consumption of Japan. All of Japan's energy use to make cursed videos of Will Smith eating spaghetti. Imagine that. Now, I've always been a tech person. I have this memory of being really young and showing my grandma how to program the VCR. And then when I was a little bit older and computers became more of a thing, I just took to them straight away. I was the one having to teach my parents how to copy and paste for the 500th time. Sorry, Mum. I've always wondered what my technological expiration point will be. What will my kids have to show me how to do? What new technology will have them rolling their eyes at me as I bumble my way around it? And I now know that the answer to that is AI. Because I am rejecting AI art on every single level. Morally, environmentally, creatively, aesthetically. And going forward, I'm going to be adopting a zero tolerance policy to using it in my work and in my real life. Perhaps that makes me some kind of Luddite, refusing to get with the times. AI apologists will tell me, too late, the future is here, use it or get left behind by it. But to that I say, so be it. If AI is the future, then I'm quite happy to stay in the past. So long, future. You seemed kind of shitty anyway. Fortunately for me, 90s nostalgia is kind of my whole thing. That retro, hand-drawn aesthetic is baked into Panels to Pixels, and I just like old stuff. I love the texture of newsprint in old comics. I love the grit and grain of film, the lo-fi hum of electric guitars, and the grimy paint washes on 90s toys. I despise the smoothness of AI art, the amorphous forms that it creates. I loathe the meandering word salads that chatbots spit out, which use so many adjectives but say so little. A minute ago, when I was wondering about the technologies that my kids will grow up around, what world they will inherit from me, that wasn't a hypothetical. I haven't mentioned this on the channel yet because I wasn't sure that I wanted to talk about it publicly, but 6 months ago, I became a dad. That's why I didn't upload for like 4 months, by the way. It turns out that balancing being a new dad, wonderful though it is, with being creative is quite hard actually. And so as I adjust to the much more frantic pace of my new life, it simply isn't an option for me to put in those 18-hour editing days anymore. If I want to be an active, engaged, present father, Panels to Pixels is going to have to adapt, or die. So to be fair, that's another motivation behind this new raw era for the channel. But it's also about setting an example for my daughter, for whom I am anxious. She'll grow up in a world defined by AI, of deepfakes and more misinformation than ever before. Her artistic palette will have to be more discerning than mine, her bullshitometer more finely tuned. The tech companies that have invested so much money into these AI models want you to think that AI is too big to fail. They will keep beating you over the head with buzzwords like deep learning and neural networks until you just accept it as part of your everyday life. But you don't have to. It's not your money on the line, so fuck them. You do not need AI. It offers nothing of value to you, at least creatively. You know, maybe machine learning can analyze new diseases or identify a cure for cancer. Although, to be honest, I'll believe that when I see it. And while AI may still be a sci-fi novelty to Joe Public out there, I'm getting the sense that the chronically online among us are already starting to suffer from AI fatigue. I know I'm sick to death of hearing about it. But the good news is that you can do something about it. Make the algorithm work for you. I've started blocking channels and profiles that post AI-generated content across all of the social media sites that I frequent. If the algorithm serves me up some slop, I click not interested, do not recommend this type of content. And I'm happy to say that after a few months of doing this, my feeds are close to, if not 100% AI free. We do have a choice in this, and my choice is to reject AI and embrace making real, tangible, raw human art. And that's going to be the focus of Panels to Pixels going forward. More unscripted videos, more unfiltered thoughts, less highly polished. Just more me in every way. And in a way, I'm grateful to the rise of AI for showing me what the alternative looks like. Hey heroes, I'm Josh from Panels to Pixels, and I'll be here making videos the old school way, with my own 2 hands, my flawed brain, and plenty of blood, sweat, and tears. At least until the robots take over.